Hi, good to see you again. In this video, I want to show you how to apply your critical thinking skills to diet, nutrition, and health. It begins by doing a contrast of analysis. This is what Dr. Weston A. Price did in the 1920s, 1930s. He wanted to find a solution to tooth decay. So what he did was to travel the world and study isolated groups of people living on a traditional diet and compare them to people living on the foods of commerce. What he found was compelling. Those people living on a traditional diet had less than 1% tooth decay. The women had no difficulty in childbirth. There was little degenerative disease. They were all well proportioned and the children looked like their parents and their close relatives. However, the people in the same area living on the foods of commerce had rampant tooth decay. There was a narrowing of the racial form, hence the women had difficulty in childbirth. There was a lot of degenerative disease and the children did not look like their siblings or their parents or their close relatives. Even though the traditional diet varied between different groups, there was similarity in the way that they prepared their foods, and when asked why they went to such great efforts to feed their children, they all replied, "Because we want to bring up strong, healthy children." Contrast that with why parents feed their children the way that they do today, and you will find very different reasons. For example, one afternoon at a shopping centre, I overheard a mother talking to her daughter. She says, "Monday you had McDonald's. Yesterday you had Hungry Jack's. What would you like for dinner today?" So does this woman truly care about her daughter's health? I don't think so, because if she did, she would do a bit of research to learn as to what constitutes good nutrition. So how do you apply critical thinking to diet? Critical thinking starts with curiosity, and as such is the process of asking questions, gathering information, challenge your assumptions, accepting that you're probably going to be wrong at least 50% of the time, putting aside your own subjectivity, biases, beliefs, feelings, and preferences, focusing on factual information, evaluating the information, being open to new learnings, allowing new understandings to rise with no specific outcome or conclusion in mind, and being slow to form a belief. And even when a belief is formed, being aware that as you gather more information, that this belief may have to be replaced with a new one. So armed with a sense of curiosity, just look at everyone that you see in your everyday life, whether it be on the street, at work, at home, or in films and on the internet. Is the person well proportioned? Look at the face, look at the jaw, at the lips and the width of the smile. Look at the teeth. Is the person tall or short? Are they overweight or skinny? Are they sort of soft and pudgy, or are they more lean cut and muscular? Do they have calf muscles or not? Are the breasts big or small? Does the woman have strong shoulders yet a narrow waist? Does the man have a more masculine or feminine look? No judgment is intended. All you're doing is being a dispassionate observer and gathering information. After a while, you should begin to see patterns. Recently, I've noticed 3 young women who have the same body shape. 2 are about 18 years old, well over 6 feet tall, attractive, but skinny like a lamppost. I also saw a 14-year-old girl, shorter, but with exactly the same proportions. And I would love to have asked them what they ate, which is the next step. So you start by looking at groups of people. For example, looking at older people of one race or ethnicity, and then compare them with their children. For example, I saw a Chinese woman, about 45 years old. She was attractive and well proportioned. But the 15-year-old girl, who I assumed was her daughter, was taller than her mother and bigger, softer, with a more puffy, westernized face. You can also do research on the internet and look for photographs of people from around 1900 all the way up to the present. The differences that you see will be the result of a difference in diet. If possible, you need to get some details on the differences in diet, what those differences are. For example, I had a client some years ago, a well-proportioned, strong, handsome young man with a great jaw. So I asked him what he ate as a child. He came from the outback in Australia, and they ate sausages, eggs for breakfast, no bread, some vegetables, but little fruit. When cholesterol and heart disease was in the news, his mother got his dad to have a cholesterol test, and the test results were perfect. Anyway, this young man said all the kids and the young men and women in his hometown were well proportioned like him. But when he came to the Gold Coast, he noted that most young people were overweight and ill proportioned. So the point of this conversation is for you to look at the differences in facial and body proportion between different cultures and different age groups. And then the challenge is to learn what they ate. So that whenever you can, just ask people what they eat now, what they ate as a child, and what they think their parents ate. On one occasion, I met a vegan family. They were nice people and wanted to take care of the environment, but their 3 children were all quite skinny with very narrow mouths, much like what you see in Japanese anime videos. They looked very different to their parents. And we were at the organic markets and the children were snacking on tomatoes. Contrast that with an Australian friend who was married to a Japanese man. They were both into traditional nutrition as per Weston A. Price. Their 2-year-old daughter used to snack on handfuls of whitebait. If you don't know whitebait, a small fish like anchovies. This girl and her sister grew up to be well-proportioned, beautiful young women with a great smile. So let's get back to our critical thinking skills. You want to improve your health, or maybe you plan to have children and you want to feed them the best diet possible. So where to look? You could go online or speak to a dietitian. But who do you believe? A lot of information is based upon junk science, which was designed to reinforce the mainstream narrative and sell you a consumer product. As I said before, you have to get curious and try and uncover the information that is not being presented to you. For example, if a group of people ate beef, lamb, goat, chicken and fish, then did they just eat the lean meat and feed the organ meat and the bones to the dogs? Or do they also eat the organ meat and make a broth from the bones and make candles from the fat? You can also search YouTube for videos of people living in remote regions of the world, such as Tibet, Afghanistan, Iran, Mongolia, etc. Take a look at their lifestyle, what they eat and how they prepare their food, and then compare their diet and body proportions to people living in a different part of the world on a different diet. And make sure that you do a comparison between the lifestyle, the source of the food, how they prepared the food and cooked it, and when, where, and how they eat the food. So, to summarize, in bringing your critical thinking skills to your diet, you need to get real curious, use your eyes, challenge your assumptions, and make distinctions between what looks like a healthy, well-proportioned human being and someone who is not. Then you need to get curious about what they ate as a child and what their parents and grandparents ate, the source of the food, how the food was prepared, and their lifestyle. When you explore the dietary habits of healthy traditional groups, you will find that there is a massive difference between what they ate and what most people are eating today. So in simple terms, what you are doing is challenging your assumptions. And if you want to teach your friends to get into the habit of questioning their assumptions, then show them how to play the NLP Matchbox game. And if you want to develop the skills of investigative journalists, then take a look at the NLP Peace Mapping course. And if you like this content, then please like and subscribe, share the video on social media, and make sure that you leave a comment below. Love to hear from you. all the best to you. I look forward to seeing you again.